What's up, everyone? RJ from Game News USA here. And today we're going to talk about Stellar Blade. We're going to talk about if it's a game that you should buy or wait for a sale or pass on. We're going to go over the Metacritic, and I'm going to give my thoughts on Stellar Blade today. So let's get right into it. Stellar Blade has an 81 on Metacritic, 108 positive reviews, 20 mixed reviews, no negative reviews from the critics. Eurogamer gave it a perfect score. Impulse Gamer gave it a perfect score, saying if you're seeking a challenging yet rewarding third-person action game, this title hits the mark and more than likely Game of the Year. High praise. GameSpew gave it a perfect score, saying more than just a Souls-like with a protagonist to serve as eye candy, Stellar Blade has far surpassed our expectations, offering varied gameplay, outstanding visuals, a sublime soundtrack, and an engaging story. It's a must-play for action game fans. Like I said, very Bayonetta-like. And honestly, that's where the perfect scores end. It got a 93 out of 100 from COG Connected. They said Stellar Blade stands out as one of the best action-adventure games of its generation. Its combat system is both deep, multi-layered, ensuring that every encounter is an exhilarating experience, offering a range of options. Players can tackle enemies in several different ways. Dot Esports gave the game a 9 out of 10, saying Stellar Blade sets a high bar, and its combination of exhilarating combat, sumptuous graphics, and deep systems make it flourish in an era chock full of high-class contemporaries. Guys, Stellar Blade got a lot of controversy for how the main character looked. It's not that different than Bayonetta. I don't know what the hubbub's about. I don't know why people have to be so upset. The game seems good. It looks good to me. I'd probably suggest buying it, especially if you like action games. So with that being said, let's go over some more of these reviews. Game Pressure gave it a 9 out of 10, saying Stellar Blade is an above-average title, well-developed, with a captivating story from the first moment, and the most importantly, engaging due to thoroughly well-planned and completely executed gameplay. Gameplay is king, people. Gameplay is king, and this game has some really good gameplay. The critics are saying it, and everything I'm seeing from this game, it looks like a game that has the gameplay you're looking for, that a lot of games are not doing very well these days. Gaming Trend gave it a 9 out of 10, saying, despite not vibing too well with the demo, we were utterly in love with Stellar Blade by the time the credits rolled. Shift Up has done a tremendous job with its first AAA project and sets a high bar for a modern action role-playing game. God is a Geek gave it a 9 out of 10, saying there's a hell of a lot going on in Stellar Blade, but it remains surprisingly elegant and exciting throughout its adventure. Plenty of 9 out of 10s here. Hardcore Gamer, a 9 out of 10. Invent, a 9 out of 10. Malatoids Nerds, a 9 out of 10. PSX Brazil, 9 out of 10. They said, Stellar Blade is a great action game with an interesting story. It's challenging, and its content is varied enough to keep the player entertained. However, certain combat mechanics require some adjustments. Furthermore, the campaign is somewhat short. It's an action game. We can let it slide if the campaign's a little short. Screen Rant gave it a 9 out of 10, saying, though its narrative pacing and world building may falter slightly, Stellar Blade as a whole is an action-packed marvel and a wonderful addition to PlayStation's exclusive gaming family. That is true. It's one of the better PlayStation games, especially in the PS5, for sure. Tech Radar Gaming gave it a 9 out of 10. Stellar Blade is a phenomenal action game with slick, dazzlingly animated combat and impressive enemy variety. You know, the enemy variety thing, it's very important in an action game to keep those enemies different so you don't get bored, so it's not repetitive. Even though the game is short, you don't want to sit there doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. You want a little variety. So glad to see this game has some variety to it. Gaming Bible, gave it a 9 out of 10. Digital Chumps, a 9 out of 10. Game Rant, Gaming Age, Playzine, all 9s out of 10. IGN Spain, Level Up, a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10, a very common score for this game. Let's go look for some 8 out of 10, shall we? Comicbook.com gave it an 8 out of 10, saying, beneath the fan service and comparisons to Nier Automata and the Bayonetta games, Stellar Blade boasts of surprisingly involved combat systems and fantastic creature designs, all in a relatively compact experience. Yeah, I forgot, it's a lot like Nier Automata 2. So, there you go. Destructoid, an 8 out of 10. If you're a fan of games with a unique and compelling narrative, Stellar Blade has fired on all cylinders in that regard. GameSpot gave it an 8 out of 10. There is a nagging question that sticks in the back of my mind. Does this game rise to the heights it inspires achieved? The conclusion I came to was no. But that it attempts so without falling on its face is remarkable enough. Kind of an oddly worded review from GameSpot. However, let's see what the others say. VG247, an 8 out of 10. Forbes, an 8 out of 10. The Game Machine, an 8 out of 10. Let's do some 7 out of 10s. The Sixth Axis gave it a 7 out of 10, saying Stellar Blade is a pretty enjoyable game to swing your hairband and sword at, so long as you don't mind the obvious sexualization. Ooh, they're scared of the sexualization of the main character. Get bent. That's no way to rate a game one way or another. Whoopie-doo! The obvious sexualization. The Sixth Axis? Are you really a game reviewer? Like, what are we talking about here? You gave it a 7 out of 10 because of sexual references and objectification? Oh dear! Why can't we have that in video games? Who cares? People, enjoy the game or don't buy it. There's no reason to give it a 7 out of 10 over that. What about the gameplay, people? What about the gameplay? IGN, a 7 out of 10. IGN said, Stellar Blade is great in almost all important ways for an action game. Let me repeat. IGN said, Stellar Blade is great in all the most important ways for an action game. But yet they give it a 7 out of 10. And why did they give it a 7 out of 10? But dull characters, a lackluster story, and several frustrating elements of the RPG mechanics. Then why would you say it is great in the most important ways and then list so many ways it wasn't good in areas that were important. That's an inconsistent review. That's almost worse than the sexualization review. Okay, here we go. The Video Gamer gave it a 6 out of 10, saying, if you take just the combat and music from Stellar Blade, you've got a fantastic game. Sadly, it's not the whole package. Okay. Digital Spy said, with a 6 out of 10, Stellar Blade is a masterclass in style, but it's lacking substance. And the worst review from the reviewers is a 5 out of 10, which I'm surprised is not considered a negative review. To me, that's negative. A 5 out of 10 from Slant Magazine said, had Eve been a character with agency and personality who actually responded to the drooling and leering she's meant to embody, well, she'd be Bayonetta. Get bent. Slant Magazine. You don't understand. You don't always have to have a character in the image you want portrayed in society. You could have different characters with different motivations. You could have characters that look certain ways, and it's okay. Like, just because it doesn't go with your agenda doesn't mean that it can't be a video game that's fun. Like, look at the gameplay. And understand there's a reason you're the worst review and you look like morons for giving it a 5 out of 10. So with that being said, guys, I recommend Stellar Blade. Thank you all for watching the video. I'm signing out. Have a good one.